Oh, sure. He went to the back side of the flower. And these are Japanese anemones. Lots and lots of Japanese anemones. It is August 27th, 2021, Port Orchard, Washington. And I still have bees buzzing around my anemones. Of course, none of them want to come out and be on the front side of the anemones right now. But anyway, you will just have to take my word for it. I have bees, I have butterflies. Oh, I just saw one over here. There's a bee. There he is, still busy. Temperature's about 65. And they're still going. But aren't these gorgeous? The bees think they're gorgeous too. They're all in various colors of shades of pink at the moment. I love those green centers with the surrounding yellow. And you really have to have a large enough space to put these in, because they will go crazy. And every year I'm weeding some out, because I can only devote so much room to them. Yesterday I repotted some plants for going inside, and I haven't cleaned up my mess yet. And here we have my upright fuchsia. You can hear me crunching on the leaves. Isn't that gorgeous? Swaying in the breeze. Little lanterns. This is year number 3, I believe, on this particular upright fuchsia. And I first saw them growing in Ireland, and they were huge. They were like 8 feet tall. And I said, oh, if they're going to grow over there, they got to grow here. So I did some reading, found that the upright ones will winter over. So, at least in our area. So I planted a few of them. I've got one there. This is a different variety over here, but it is still listed as an upright. And that one I put in this year. And it was in a little tiny pot. I think I paid 99 cents for it. And on this side of the path, I've got my basket of gold. I just put my pansies in yesterday that I dug up from, or dug out of my potted plants, because those don't like to winter over inside. So I put those in the ground. and they go to seed. And got my purple shamrock. And I never cleaned this hosta up. That was all the dieback from the 115 degree temperature and week of 100 degree temperatures. I cut back my phlox just recently, and I got all new blossoms coming on it. So I'm going to have a second blooming of the phlox. And my dinner plate roses, like, I don't know what the actual name of them is, because most of my roses I get on sale. But these are huge. So I just call them my dinner plate roses. See if I can get in over there. This is all on one stem. There's 5 blossoms on one stem. And they look gorgeous. And there's more phlox over here. And these I didn't even have to cut off. They just shed a few petals and they have been going all summer long. Most of the phlox died down after that hot temperature, but these are in the shade most of the time. So they just stayed nice and pretty. And at the back of the fence I have lilacs. That's my wild area back there. On this side, as we turn around, we're facing the fountain over there. And I have my hydrangea. And these have gone by. The color has faded, but the blooms are still beautiful. So I will be cutting some of these off and putting in my bowl. I have a wooden bowl that I like to keep my hydrangea blooms in. And I also put some pansies in here yesterday, some of the yellow ones. Dug them up from my potted plants. This is a Spirea, and this got huge this year. Put this in 2 years ago, and it was a small plant 2 years ago. And now it's absolutely huge. And back there, I have a yellow rose. I didn't like what it was doing this summer, so I chopped it back. I chopped it back, way back to the ground. And it has come back. So we'll see if it starts to behave itself. It was getting all gangly and straggly, and so it's like, no, you don't. And I have more hydrangea back there. I have my columbine, my Solomon seal. I've got some variegated spurge. And I've got an everbloom rose here. And I chopped those way back after the hot spell, and these are all blossomed up again. And one thing I like to do is fill in the vacant spaces with things like zucchini. Another hydrangea back there. I also have Princess Spirea, a Forsythia, phlox, and most of all of that has ceased to bloom now. So I'll get in there and I'll be clearing stuff out. And a lot of the stuff that looks like weeds is lemon balm. And I planted that years ago and found out that with a thyroid condition, it's not good to have it. So I can't have it. And on this side of the path, we have more hostas, some euthanasia, some black-eyed Susans. And those are all transplanted this year from on the other side over there. And this is a hosta that I separated early in the spring. So that also is a transplant. Got another zucchini. And on this side of the path, we have another evergreen or ever-blooming rose. And I realize my shadow's getting in there. And because of the heat this summer that was extremely unusual for this area, the leaves started falling about a month ago. Just too dry and too hot. And back here, this is another transplant. That is from my, my bronze. Okay, name escapes me. Anyway, I've got that. I've got another viburnum, or Lavatera, I'm sorry. This is a variegated Lavatera back there. And that's the one we dug up in Seaside. And it keeps having babies. It only lives a couple of years, but every year it produces babies. So you end up with new ones coming up. And I do have 2 new ones at the base of that plant that I'll be letting take over. But once again, these are all transplants. I transplanted lilies and some hostas. So I had to keep this area pretty well watered this year. And I just saw an orange butterfly, something not very usual around here. Let's see if I can not spook him. He's a different color. There he is. Isn't he pretty? Don't know what kind he is. I'll have to look him up. He's rather late in the season. But I do have a butterfly bush, and that is very busy with butterflies and bees. And once again, you know, it's like 60 degrees. It's been down as low as 49 degrees overnight. And if you hear a yowling cat, that's Lizette. I have 2 kitty cats that like to come out and walk with me. So yes, that's a very different butterfly, Lizette. I like that. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to end right now and get some stills of him. Well, as you can see, I got a little bit distracted by the butterfly. I don't know what kind he is. I haven't researched him yet, but he is different for this area. Normally we have a western swallowtail, but he's the first orange one that I've seen. And he's late in the season. And we have some hydrangeas with a pretty bug on it. Don't ask me what kind. But the hydrangeas actually have pink and white to them. And you're going to hear my clock chime in the background. My knockout roses, some hostas, my double pink roses. My white roses are blooming again, and the yellow ones. And there's Shadow. And yes, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon here. Time to feed the animals. Some squash. And I actually put some water hyacinths in the bottom of that. And my pond. I love those yellow roses. My mom's favorite was yellow roses too. Well, I'll say goodbye for now from Lynn's garden and see you again soon.